welcome to Grace Barth and Stephen Holloway from Library and Educational Technologies. Why don't you introduce briefly what you are doing over there?
Sure. I'm Grace Barth. I'm the head of digital collections at Libraries and Educational Technologies. So our unit's responsible for digitization activities and various platforms where that content lives, which includes JMU Scholarly Commons.
Sure. I'm Stephen Holloway. I'm Director of Metadata Strategies. My unit maintains the metadata for our public catalog, but in light of the changing world that we live in, we're increasingly involved in what we call academic online identity management, and this presentation will involve an aspect of that.
And if I remember correctly, I think Stephen was going to talk about ORCID and Grace about JMU Scholarly Commons.
Yes.
Who wants to go first? What do you think makes most sense to talk about first? Maybe the Scholarly Commons and then how we kind of show things to the outside with ORCID?
Absolutely.
So do you want me to share the screen?
Sure, yeah. So this is JMU Scholarly Commons, our institutional repository for the university. Here we are on the home page. Scholarly Commons is a resource for sharing scholarship and activities of the JMU community. So materials in Scholarly Commons include journals, conference proceedings, individual papers and presentations, and also image collections and streaming media.
So I was following your lead. I basically went in there and set up an account and everything. I thought, how can I work with this? And looking around, it looks somewhat similar to other repositories, right? There is the Social Science Research Network, academia.edu, similar things. How is this one different?
Scholarly Commons is great because it really showcases the breadth and the depth of research and scholarship happening on our campus here. So being able to demonstrate the quality and value and relevance of our research and scholarship activities that we're all working on campus really helps to increase the value and the visibility of our whole university. So it's also a completely open access system. So users online can access your content in Scholarly Commons completely free of charge without having to create a login or have any kind of institutional affiliation. There's no fee. And so it's also ranked very highly in search results as a completely open access system, which makes your work more discoverable in Google Scholar, Google, Bing, whatever search engine is your choice. It also includes some detailed reporting tools. So once you put your work in Scholarly Commons, you can log into your account and view information about who's downloading it, where they're coming from, how many times it's been downloaded. And this is really great for annual reporting purposes and just getting a better picture of how your work is being used by others. It is also a part of the Digital Commons network of institutional repositories, which provides users with an interface to search across over 400 repositories at once. So it's kind of a concentrated search engine for open access works in many different disciplines.
Yeah, I saw when I basically created my account, I got into BE Press, or however it's pronounced, right? So it's run by BE Press. What is this organization?
Berkeley Electronic Press came out.
That's what it stands for.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
They were early adopters of repositories and open access movement. So it's nice to have support from a network of people who really understand what we're trying to do with our research and scholarship and understanding how we can best promote that.
Let's say I have a conference paper that I want to upload there. Do I keep copyright? Does the university then take over the copyright if we upload it? What's happening with that?
That is a great question. When you submit works to Scholarly Commons, you agree to a Creative Commons license, which allows the author to retain full copyright of their work. And all it does is give JMU a non-exclusive license to share the content with the world in our system and also to preserve it for future users.
So I have to make sure that what I post is something where I control the copyright. So sometimes when I publish an article, the publisher takes the copyright, and I need to check if I can also post it on my website. And if I can, probably I can put it up onto JMU Commons, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And our staff and digital collections can always help if faculty have questions about what they can and can't submit or want to advocate for their rights as authors.
All right. Yeah, that's very helpful. Thanks. So you mentioned that one can upload a whole range of things there. Is it only papers, or so? Let's say I have, I don't know, a conference presentation that's basically a set of PowerPoint slides, or a recording. I have a lecture that's a video file. What can I upload there?
You can upload any research, educational or scholarly oriented work that you have produced or submitted on campus. Anything that is also sponsored by JMU faculty or staff can be submitted. So for example, if you were running a conference, we could put all those conference proceedings up in Scholarly Commons. We host journals in Scholarly Commons. So anything that's intended to be a permanent part of the repository, and again, anything that you are able to give us rights to share and preserve, we can put in Scholarly Commons.
So the keyword is permanent in part, that if I upload it, it stays there.
Yeah, it should stay there. The intent of the repository is to create a complete picture of scholarship at the university. Can
I take it back again at some point?
You can, if you need to, but the intent for submission is for permanent.
Which I think is kind of attractive, actually, because with many of the online repositories, you wonder for how long are they going to exist, right? SSRN was taken over by, I think it was Elsevier, one of the big publishers. So you were wondering, do they really continue to support it? Although I think BE Press is also owned by a big publisher now. I don't remember which one.
Press was also acquired by Elsevier over the summer. They have clear about their commitment to open access. So we're obviously closely monitoring the acquisition to see how that changes. But it's different from those other repositories you mentioned, because we do have our digital collections support on campus for faculty. So if you run into issues with the system or you have questions about what it should be used for, we have people on the ground who can help with that.
Okay. So you can actually walk into an office and say, there is something, I don't understand how to do this. Talking about which, by the way. So when I set up my account, I thought, okay, maybe, I have stuff on SSRN and something on academia. I could upload something. And I couldn't really figure out how to do this. So I went to submit research. And I think if you just click on the screen that you shared with us, can you click on submit research?
This isn't the best way.
Okay, because I was wondering, where do I go? Do I go to libraries there as a general purpose upload, or how do you do this?
So what you want to do to submit is go to this collections tree, and then here you can expand and see all the academic units. And so what you're going to do is find your college and your department. So let's say I was in science and mathematics, and I was in chemistry. You can see, and this is for every department, there's a section that says faculty scholarship. You're going to click here, and once you're in the right area for your department, you can submit research.
Okay, great. And then you log in and follow the prompts.
And I cut this little user.
Oh, your password is all dots, like mine.
Yeah. We're twins. So here you can see this is the submission agreement that I mentioned earlier, which you will see if you submit anything to Scholarly Commons, just giving us a non-exclusive license that lets authors retain full copyright. So you will click to agree to the terms and continue. And then on here, you simply enter the information that should appear alongside your work. So anything that's required is marked with a little tag and in red, and anything else is optional. So
Okay.
you can specify the type of document, you can include an abstract, keywords, you can denote which discipline it should be included in, and then you will upload from your computer. And we do recommend uploading PDFs just so the formatting doesn't get wonky if it converts a Word doc. And then you will hit submit. And at that point, digital collections staff will review the submission and post it online. And if you have any additions or edits to make, you can do those by logging into your account. And that's also how you can view your readership information.
What do you look at when you review the submissions?
You just go to My Account, and then from your account page, you can see everything that you've submitted.
No, but from the library side, you mentioned that once I submit something, it's going to be reviewed and then posted.
Yes, digital collections staff gets an email whenever something is submitted. For obvious reasons, we can't just have anybody post anything on Scholarly Commons without review. But we just check it to make sure that it's been submitted basically to the appropriate section of the site, so to your correct department, and then we'll just go ahead and post. We don't do any kind of editorial edits, content, or anything like that.
So you mentioned that it's best to post PDFs. Does this mean that we should post only text type documents, or can we also post videos or podcasts, whatever we do?
Yeah, we can include links to streaming media. So if you have a podcast or something on YouTube that you'd like to create a record for and link out to, that's another option. So yeah, PDF is just for text-based.
But we don't upload the actual sound or video files then. So what we're doing now wouldn't be something that we put on Scholarly Commons.
You would go through the form and just go back to that. And then when you get to upload file, you would just click link out to file on remote site and then enter the link for your YouTube or whatever it is.
So I wouldn't have an MP4 file that I upload as a file. That's not what it's made for.
Correct.
Okay.
Users can stream media, but they can't download the media.
Okay. Well, thanks so much. Is there anything else that you would be?
I would just encourage anyone who's interested or has questions to contact myself or anyone in digital collections. At the bottom of every page on the site, we have this little footer that says questions and has our general email address. So we encourage anyone to reach out.
All right. Thanks so much.